Hi, everyone. Thanks for stopping by our poster today. My name is Justin Haegele. I am an associate professor at Old Dominion University, and my co-author on this paper is Joonkoo from East Carolina University. And our project here discusses the identification for the need for preparing highly qualified faculty in adapted physical education. And so the purpose of our poster here was to disseminate an updated examination of the need for higher ed personnel in adapted PE in the United States. We took a two-step approach to analyzing the need for higher ed personnel in adapted physical activity. First, we conducted an analysis of faculty advertisements across two different online job search engines between 2008 and 2022. So we have quite a few years of continuous data here that we've been collecting over time. This is from the Chronicle of Higher Education, as well as higheredjobs.com. We've been doing so since September 2008, all the way up until last month. The positions that were identified were the ones that specified that faculty needed to have training and expertise in adaptive physical activity, including adaptive physical education. And we broke down a number of different data points from the job advertisements that we collected, including the name of the institution, the closing date, which state it was in, what degree requirements there were, whether it was a fixed or a tenure track position, and other job responsibilities, including like teaching responsibilities or research responsibilities. The second step is we analyzed the annual number of doctoral level graduates in adapted physical activity by conducting an online search of dissertation abstracts from 2009 to 2021. This included doing online searches for abstracts through databases, as well as going through archived dissertation abstracts from well-known programs that train doctoral level scholars. And so figure one here shows the historical summary of openings versus dissertations. And so if you look at the entire bar represents all jobs that noted adapted physical activity as a position that they're going to hire for. The blue part of the bar is positions that adapted physical activity were the primary position. The red part of the bar is where it was a secondary piece of the position. So in instances like that, it may be a peak position where they want people to teach or do research or work in adapted physical education as well. And the green line that's coming across the bars represents the number of dissertations that were published or that were found those respective years. So you can see over time, there was a peak around 2015 with jobs. There was a different coding process used after 2015. And so there is a slight drop off after that, but I believe that's partially because of the change in coding process. And since 2017, it has been a fairly stable job market where there's been between 20 and 25 jobs advertised, with exception to 2020 and 2021, which we believe was largely due to COVID. In table one, you can see a representation of dissertations from 2008 to 2021. There are several universities who had historically graduated a lot of doctoral students in this area. Oregon State University, University of Virginia, Texas Women's are the three that have had the most since 2008. But it is notable that many universities have only graduated one doctoral scholar. So those are all in the other university section that have done work within this area. And also notable is in the last 5 years, there are only a few schools that have graduated more than 3 scholars. And so it does show that there's been a drop off. So for example, while Oregon State has graduated clearly the most doctoral scholars in adapted physical activity in the 13-year span, since 2017, that's just been 5 scholars. And so 1 per year on average over those years. Other programs are emerging. Some over the last 3 or 4 years have graduated 3 or 4 scholars. It just shows some shifts in what we're finding as far as doc student training in our field. But I think the most important thing is that there are clearly a significantly larger number of advertised positions than there are people graduating with doctoral degrees in this area. And so some summary of findings, a total of 392 positions have been advertised since 2009, 155 of those with APE as the primary responsibility, 237 as the secondary responsibility. Of the 392, 88% were tenure track positions requiring a doctorate or individuals being ABD. And nearly all positions required personnel prepared to teach APE within a PEAT program and to have pedagogical expertise. There were also 133 dissertations that were identified. The dissertations are more broad, conceptually broad, so we identified them in APA, which essentially means that's an overestimate of dissertations because there are individuals who are working in physical activity or health promotion areas whose dissertations may have fit within our conceptualization here, but would not be qualified to teach in PEAT programs. And so we believe this is an overestimation of the number of dissertations that have been completed. So maybe showing even more the need for more future APE faculty. During the 2009 to 2021 calendar years, degrees were awarded from 40 institutions with only 9 producing 3 or more graduates. In addition, since 2019, which is the last 3 years, only 3 IHEs have graduated more than 3 scholars. So some conclusions, the number of those completing doctoral degrees were consistently and significantly lower than advertised positions. We think that this is the clear argument for the need for preparing more highly qualified faculty in APE. Over the past 5 years alone, 97 jobs have been advertised, whereas only 34 dissertations have been completed. And this brings us through the COVID years, showing that COVID did not help with this particular shortage. And there are only a few IHEs currently that are contributing to fulfilling this need based on our data. So I hope that you found our information interesting and useful. Happy to engage with anyone about questions. And I hope you have a lovely day. Thank you.